Kudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah, meaning holy, 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 Lord of hosts. Yad, He, Va, He. Divine masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine, back to divine feminine. As a collective whole, creating the tetragrammaton. In the beginning, Elohim said, let us create them in our image. Us meaning plural, more than one. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. As above, so below. The macro prosophis above and the micro prosophis below, because we are the microorganisms and the host of the Elohim. All right, back at y'all again. This is part 2 of the 7 hermetic principles. The enochian, Hermes, Thoth. I bet a lot of people didn't know that they're all one and the same, you know? The names switch in the different cultures. So a lot of people, they get caught up in these names, but they don't understand the translation. So they thinking that it's a whole nother entity, but it's all the same one, you know? And when I say entity, I mean a person, a place, a thing that's operational, you know? And this is, we're going to do the last 2 principles, because yesterday I stopped at principle 5. All right, this is this is principle 6 of the 7. This is the principle of cause and effect. See? In them other videos, I was talking all about the cause and effect, but this right here gives you like more in-depth understanding of the topic, because it's key to understand how cause and effect work, you know? All right. The principle of cause and effect, number 6. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The laws of the universe, they don't stop. Those wheels, roll ties. The wheels and the cycles of the periods of time. All right. The law is cause and effect, believe it or not. I've been saying this all along, but now I know I was right, you know? I was just putting things together and it was just downloading in my brain, but this right here confirmed everything I've been saying, you know? This principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect, an effect from every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower planes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The Hermeticists understand the art and method of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane. That's why I tell you about the Kundalini rising. You get into the Christ consciousness by coming from your grotesque state, your lower state, and rising to your higher state of awareness, you know? This is how you unlock the Kundalini, the third eye, and you get that crown, you know? It says, rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the master rising to the plane above dominates their moods. This is being in control of your your the thoughts that lead to those actions, and being in somebody else's time, space, and matter, and how their intent reflects on you. If it's gonna put you in a bad mood, but not knowing that with mentalism you can control their narrative. You just by you being present in the room and consciously aware of what's actually happening, it cannot affect you unless you allow it. It only affects you when it catches you off guard, and you be like, damn, like it just blew my stuff. Like it made me feel some type of way. But when you seeing how all the pieces on the board is operating, you have to control the narrative. Your vibration is so high and strong, low vibrational states won't even affect you. You actually can raise their vibration just by you being vibing on such a higher level. It's called an energy exchange. Some people come around you to zap you with your energy. Some people come around you to find balance and peace in their energy field of their aurora. Now back to this. Suggestions and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters rise into the plane above, dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life. Instead of being played and moved about by others' wills and environment, they use the principle instead of being its tool. Interesting. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there is condensed a wealth of hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. Now, principle 7. Principle 7 is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything. The masculine and feminine principles ever at work. This is true not only on the physical plane, but the mental and even the spiritual planes. On the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes, it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. And understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generations, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains two elements or principles. This is back to duality, which in here is called polarity. So everybody, every living person has these two genes inside of them. Sometimes one will dominate the other, That's why, you have, I ain't gonna say it, but stuff that's going on today. Let's just put it that way. The rainbows. The rainbows, you know why? You know why? The rainbow is key because it deals with the 7 elements. It deals with the 7 energy fields in your body that correlate with the chakras. And in Genesis 9, it tells you about God is present when you see a rainbow. So you see how people pervert things and they take it out of context? That's the whole specific meaning of what it says in Revelation. They worship the creature more than the creator. They pervert everything. They switch it around. Everything is in reverse. Remember that. Feminine contains also the male principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must understand and study this hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. We causation you that this principle has no reference to the many base, pernicious, and degrading lustful theories, teachings, and practices which are taught under fanciful titles. What I was just saying. And which are a prostitution of the great natural principle of gender. Interesting. Such base revivals of the ancient infamous forms of phallism, Phallicism, tend to ruin mind, body, and soul. The hermetic philosophy has ever sounded the warning note against these degraded teachings which tend towards lust, licentious, spelled Licentious, whatever that word is, and perversion, and perversion of nature's principles. If you seek such teachings, you must go elsewhere for them. Hermeticism contains nothing for you along these lines. To the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. Salah, so be it. Those is the 7 hermetic principles. The first video yesterday, that was 5 of the principles. And today, this video is part 2 of the last 2 principles. So you can have the collective whole of the 7. Hallelujah. Salah. I'm out. Deuces.